Hi everyone, my name is Lyle Peters from Henervic Farms. My grandpa started this farm about 75 years ago when he came here from Russia. And then my dad and his 3 brothers took over, and now me and my 3 cousins are working on this farm. We farm a whole bunch of crops. We farm corn and soybeans and wheat and barley and canola, and we also have pigs to make a very nice, large, diverse family farm. On our farm, we like to rotate crops. Cereal plants like corn and legumes like soybeans have very different nutrient needs and also have very different insects that like to try to hurt them. So we like to rotate those crops on our farms so that we can keep our plants healthy. To prep the field for the soybeans, we will use a disc the fall before to put last year's crop back into the dirt and make a nice black seed bed for the soybeans. When we're choosing the seed that we want to grow, we look for a couple of traits. The first trait is genetics. They make certain plants that grow really tall and give us really good yield. Another trait is maturity. Certain soybeans take certain amounts of heat and time to make seed. Another trait is protection. The seeds we're seeding have a red coating on them. That red coating is providing some protection to the plant. First of all, it gives it energy so that it will have a better germination and have a better start to come out of the ground really quickly. Second of all, it has some protection against insects and bugs that want to eat it while it's either in the ground or just when it's poking out of the ground. And third, it has some protection against some of the bad bacteria that are in the dirt that want to make the plant sick. The color on the seed helps us find it when we're seeding to make sure the seeder is set correctly so that every plant has the best chance to germinate and grow into be a big, healthy plant. We use the roller after seeding to press down all the rocks and sticks because when we combine, we have to combine right on the ground to make sure that we get all of these pods in the combine. When the plant is really small, about this tall, we'll spray it for weeds so that there are no weeds and it has a nice seed bed for growing. These soybeans were planted at the end of May, so they are about 7 weeks old right now. They're sort of to my waist. They usually don't get much taller than that. As you can see, the flowers on a soybean are very small. They don't rely on insects like bees to pollinate. These flowers will self-pollinate to make pods that hold the actual soybean seed that we crush for oil. Soybeans need lots of heat and lots of water to give us lots of seeds. So a warm, wet summer is really good for soybeans. From here, they'll spend all of their energy making more pods with more seeds. The soybean is a very climate-friendly crop. Soybeans are a unique plant because they actually produce their own nitrogen into these nodules. Nitrogen is the main nutrient that all plants need to grow. Soybeans produce a bacteria into these nodules that helps to pull the nitrogen from the air into the soil. This process is called nitrogen fixation. During the nitrogen fixation process, the soybean plant will take what it needs, but it will leave behind some nitrogen in the dirt for next year's crop. Soybeans and bacteria are definitely BFFs. We don't have to worry about soybeans needing nitrogen like some of our other crops. We try to protect our crop from insects that like to eat the leaves, like whatever bug did this, but we don't want to harm the good bugs that help the plants grow big and strong. We hire an agronomist who's a professional at checking the crops to help us with everything from seed selection to crop protection products to harvest management to timing of when to do all of these things for us to get as many seeds as we can. We can see this plant is starting to create pods. Right now, these seeds are very small, but at harvest time, they will grow up to be nice and big. These soybeans will turn completely brown and become all dried out, and the seeds will become very hard. We need the soybean seed to be completely dry for us to combine, so that it will pop very easily out of the shell and we can store properly in the bin. The combine comes through the field to combine the soybeans, and the soybeans end up in this hopper. We then come with our grain cart and drive beside the combine so that we can put the seeds into the grain cart without stopping the combine. As farmers, we're looking for a high yield. Yield is the amount of seeds that a plant will give us or amount of seeds we'll get on the whole field. We talk about yield usually in bushels, and a bushel is about the number of seeds that'll fit in a laundry basket. When the grain cart is full, we'll take it to where the semis are and fill the semis so that we can take the grain back to our yard where we will fill a grain bin. If the grain is dry, it can stay there stored for a long time till we sell them. While they're in the bin, we have a fan that keeps the temperature regulated so that we can keep them stored for a very long time. No part of the plant on a soybean really gets wasted. When we harvest the seeds, the actual plant gets worked back into the soil to give nutrients to next year's crop. After harvest, we take our seeds to either the local elevator or directly to the crushing plant. After the oil is crushed out of the soybean seed, we are left with meal. The oil gets processed and it's also used in things like salad dressing, mayonnaise, and margarine, and goes to grocery stores for us to buy. It's also used to make biodiesel, which we use in vehicles, and products like candles, crayons, and lip balm. The meal is very high in protein and gets fed to animals across Manitoba. Those animals take that protein to convert it into food products. I hope you learned a lot about soybeans today and how we want to grow healthy food for everyone to eat, and how we're worried about the plants and the soil being sustainable for future generations. Thank you for joining us on our farm.